47 days. As I said, we've been growing this for 3 years, and generally we haven't seen anything last longer than 15 days. What really happens at that time is that we see a lot of rot setting in, and we just end up with quite a little blob of liquid at the bottom. And then if you open these containers, there's an horrendous smell that just fills the room very quickly. And this smell is given off when the plant cells break down, and it's like a sulfur smell. I think it's like rotten egg smell, so it definitely fills the room. So we'd only started smelling, it was more on day 41, we could smell a slight odor, but it was more of a vegetation odor. It wasn't the same funny, stinky smell that we had smelled before. And I said, we'd just seen the yellowing on the leaves. What we'd also done was, on the first day, we'd weighed the containers, and both of them weighed 47 grams with the radish. And then on day 41, I weighed them again, and we'd seen that they were still 44 grams. So we'd only lost 3 grams during this entire time. Both containers were then kept in the fridge at 4 degrees Celsius. Next. What we got from this is that the fridge life, or your shelf life of your food, can be extended way beyond its normal time by using the water, the plasma water, to grow the food with. The big question that did come to my mind was why our radish, which we'd only just soaked in water and plain water and watered with the plain water, has lasted just as long as the plasma radish. And what we had realized then was because they had been sitting next to each other, when we had soaked the seeds in water, we'd put one container water next to the plasma container water, and they sat there for 24 hours. We'd put them together on the tables to grow, and when I've put them in the fridge for these 47 days, both containers have been sitting next to each other or on top of each other in the fridge. So what's been happening is that the fields from the plasma radish have been interacting with the radish, the water-only radish, and essentially it's the stronger fields feeding the weaker fields, and it's allowed the plain water radish to last just as long. Next. The implications of this that we found was, could we place CO2, zinc oxide, with some amino acid plasma water in our fridges at home to extend the life of our fresh produce that we buy from the stores? Or we could also place this water in the stores on the shelves to extend the produce in the store as well before we bring it home. And that was the end of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. This has far more implication than you can think, but is in line with what just we thought. You've seen the vegetation, which has not even come in touch with the water, receives the field of the water. You do not need to be in it to have it. This is the transmutation of energy through the GANs, and it's for the first time clearly can be seen. There are a number of researchers which are going around this type of development, and the more and more you see, the more you understand that the field does not need the matter state. It receives what it needs to be equal to the others. And this will apply to the man and the universal community from now on. As we have brought the two next to each other according to the wish of the Creator, man shall elevate to the level of the understanding of the universal community. The time of transition will be very hard, but there will be those who want to stop the process for their own physical misconducts not to be shown. My condolences, you're too late. You took a life of a young man, we take your kingship. And we have taken your kingship. You took decision to stop the process last Thursday. You gave us more to see your weaknesses. And now we explain it very easily. Your time is over. The bell rang on the 12th. Today is the 14th. Please, if you are true man of peace and you've been asking for equality and the peace on this planet, I cannot teach you no more till you reach the understanding of this universe, and then we shall meet again to bring you into the universal community of the unicosmos. That needs another education. So what you have, what I've taught you, what you have learned, what you're going to add, is enough to bring you out, enough to be equal, is for you to be able to develop this in a very rapid way that it can change the course of the warmongering to a peaceful planet. And it's well known by those who show their two fingers that are always have been successful in bringing the fingers together. I always delivered where I appear, and I know exactly how to deliver. So, in so many ways, man has no choice. Our wish is peace, and we'll go to the end to achieve it. We expect apology for those who planned the murder of Fabio. And we will not do it by words, but we bring it to their soul. We expect the same with those who are planning revolutions and evolutions around this planet. We deliver so much that you have no room just to submit your physicality to this eventuality of imprisonment of the souls you hurt. If any of you as world leaders decide to commit suicide, not to be seen the truth about your soul, don't forget physicality does not count. We have access to your soul. You committed many crimes. Now we have opened the hand of the universe. Those who came here to teach you and they got interacted and baffled by the what I call the losses of life on this planet, they in turn have to and return to be positioned in where they have to be to understand they will not, and this will not repeat itself anywhere across the universe. Taking of a physical life is as worse than taking the soul of the man. You have famine, you know how to handle it. You have, in a way, you've seen the lettuce and you've seen the radish. One bucket is your system, and one bucket, which has never received the energy, is the man who's hungry, broken leg, homeless. You bring it to his wishes to be comfort in the condition of his existence, and that's what your job shall be, and no more. And maybe we have enough time to change before it's too far, too late. But on the other hand, we have no choice. You have messed up your planets too far too long, and those who came to give a hand stood as a bystander, and that was not supposed to be when they were here to transfer, and they became embedded in the societies which start the wrongdoing and they start abusing. As I said, there'll be no one shall be called a Jew as we finished with Moses and demoted his station from a prophet to ordinary man as he has not delivered what he was supposed to be. There shall be no prophet called Moses. He has committed nothing but murder, and his followers still carry on the same. So there shall be no Jews. With it came the Christ and the same structure and Muhammad. So we finish with the religions as if you know the knowledge of the universe, you are the man of religion yourself. You need no guidance but the correct conduct of your emotion and the soul, and the rest is history. If you don't understand this, now that we open the door of universe to you, every, as we say in English, Tom and Dick and Harry in space becomes another prophet because they see the weakness inside you. You have the knowledge, you receive the knowledge to be able to be the creator of what you wanted and what you have, as long as it's in equal term and conditions, and is in the benefit of the totality, not individuality. So the question is very simple. As we have finished, I warned before with the mess which has come with the Hebraism and the others who use the name of the religions or the path of belief to receive and abuse the others. Now we finish with the kingship. Who is there to say one is higher than the other? And it has to come to an end. But in trying to keep the position of the higher, they have brought the abuses of the name of the religion next to them to give themselves credibility, and some have mixed it together to be stronger to what they wanted to be. We see this mixture, such a shame, in the structure of the United Kingdom, where the king and the faith has come together to create more murders than anybody else. We finish with this island. President Reagan said, unsinkable ship, we have sunk the ship. Very simple. Why should one be higher than the other? Why should one soul be higher than the other in a physical strength when at the soul level they are equal? There shall be no king, and there shall be no president. When you're in deep space, who is your president from the earth except you? Understand the word of the ambassador. The ambassador, if you speak with a diplomat, tells you one thing: I am the representative of my king, my president. I speak in his word and I speak in his place. That's what the ambassador is. And now that we have opened the universe to you, you are all ambassadors of this planet. You speak the soul of the planet, you speak the word of the humanity. That's why you are one nation, one planet, one race. It is very simple. You did not understand, now we force you to understand that there shall be no king. There shall be no leaders, because in leadership and possessing and keeping the position of leadership, we have to force conditions that the abuse become part of it. And in this case, we need no world leaders. It takes time to change the course, but this time will be very, very short. I hope man will not go to take revenge in what they have done wrong to him by those who have done wrong to him. Do not burn the cities. The biggest sorrow for me for years has been that when the evolution or revolutions come, people destroy what is their own national asset to show their anger. it's you who loses. It's the building which you built by your assets and your sweat of your ancestors. There are some buildings which has to be brought to the ground that man will forget about the wrong things which is happening in that space, because on the other hand you can create the conditions in a way to place it in the center of these buildings. No man will see the building without destroying it. That does not bring and allow the emotions and the losses in that building. This be the Buckingham Palace, the White House, and the rest. The only places which have to be flattened, in a way, they have to be brought back to the position, because the abused many souls are those who sit at the center of what they call the abuses of man, the world religions. There have been nothing but the shame on the face of the universal community in what we gave a message to become for improvement and development of the soul of the man became the point of the abuse of the man. Tax fraud, murders, and everything else they could put on it. We don't open that book because in so many ways our messengers got themselves entangled in the physicality of their lives. My job is done. I have accomplished and delivered. Now is your turn as one race to deliver the peace on this planet. Build as many systems as you can. Do not go for revenge, but go to elevate that they cannot sustain the elevation. Then in that way, their energy and their souls become part of the universal soup and non-existence in respect. In a way, the demise of a soul comes when it cannot find a place to call home, and in spreading to find home, it becomes lost in the soup of the universal fields. Annihilation in the essence of the fields of the universe. Any questions?
Yes, please. This is Ioannis from Greece.
Yes?
I'm not sure. I was a bit confused about which device we will build. Will it be the two balls, the reactor, one inside the other, or the one without the moving parts?
The balls are irrelevant. They can both move, but the position is that you can concentrate the fields of the free plasma you have created it. I've given this example a few times. I repeat it. You want to test it, then you understand it because it gives you confidence. You know what you have there. What you got to do is very much like this. Get yourself, oops, we are back on. Get yourself a mixer. Nano-coated, or use a copper wire nano-coated. You will see very strange effect. Teach yourself slowly. If you put this nano-coated copper on a mixing machine, you will see a very strange effect. Vernie, are you there to come in? Is Vernie there in the background? You don't see him?
I believe he is here.
Yes.
Not sure.
Vernie, could you explain to us what happened when you do this?
I see he's in the chat. I'm not sure if he's actually there. I can try and unmute and see what happens. Hello, Vernie?
Vernie, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, hi Bernie. Bernie, could you explain to us the test you've done with the nano-coated wire in the GANS water, liquid plasma?
Yes. When I spin the nano-coated copper, there is a certain speed that it bends 90 degrees towards the side. Uh, I think it reaches at around 2,500 RPM.
So what happened is, correct if I'm wrong, what happened, this butterfly becomes like this.
The
The whole
stem, Mr. Cash,
beam.
yes, it's shifted to the side, but it is a shape. Oh yeah, just like that on the drawing, 90 degrees, which is very unusual for something like that to happen.
Don't forget, the material is nano-coated. It's in the GANS water. So the field forces, because it's looped together without anywhere going, creates a new condition. Exactly what you did with the coils. If you remember, the coils which we built, especially for the medical application, sits at 90 degrees like this inside each other. It's a point of transformation of the plasma speed. It's the only way I could teach you this. So what you need now, knowing such a change, you have to create a space for the change. So what you do in your coils, at this point, you create space for it, that it can interact on its own. And you will see, you still have the butterfly to stir the fields inside, but you keep on concentrating the energy inside. This still rotates, but instead of fields twisting, it's very much polarity of the change of the planets. The field forces changes position, and now you have a place to confine your field forces, and this is the energy field which you need. If you still place this in another bowl with the same condition in the liquid plasma, that's what I said, have as many holes as you like in your bowl. You don't need to be airtight, not even here, because you gave it a frame. You are within the structure. So what you can do is now the two fields, the liquid plasma is continuously feeding it, and what you will receive is very, very simple. In a way, if you look at it, you make as much hole as possible in your ping pong ball. Because if you nano-coated this ball before you put it there, does not matter how many holes you created, the field will create the same condition. You can always take the ball away, and this is your center ball. You can create a bigger ball, then you have two fields. Understand where this comes from. Always don't accept just because it said so. You remember you had the CO2, you had the CuO2, you had the CH3, and you put these gases of water, liquid plasma of it, in the container, and you got all three properties of it in every part of it, because they all got loaded on one plasma, where this is one, this is the other, and this is the other, all on the back of the same field. Now you have the same position here. Now, with adding it, with stirring it, you add to this one. you add to this one, you add to this one. And when you add to this, you increase the power of this plasma from this to this. This is how, in the universe, we make neutron stars, by the speed of the rotation. This is why the Earth, in comparison to the Sun, even if it looks smaller, but it moves faster, an electron around the proton creates its field absorption. There is nothing new.
So, Mr. Kesh, we're actually creating a plasma here, right?
Free plasma, of course. That was the whole teaching. You missed it. Wake up.
Yeah, I know it's the whole teaching, but I need to understand how to use this free plasma. For example, do I have to have 3 or 4 of those to produce lift?
Repeat yourself.
I have to understand how to use this free plasma. For example, if I wanted to produce lift, correct me if I'm wrong.
Produce what?
Lift, motion.
Yeah.
Would I need to have 4 of those plasmas?
You still can do it with one. Just change your ping pong ball to a chair and put the energy underneath of it. You still can create lift. What you saw with Armand, on the metal side, you can create a matter state frequency, or what you call the hertz. If you understood why we put a metal piece in the middle of the core, goes in a very simple way. In part of the teaching in the past, we thought that whenever you want to change the energy from direct to alternative, all you need to do is to scratch the nano coating. At the matter state, the field has to find a passage through between the gaps of the spacing, magnetic spacing of the atoms of the copper. It creates oscillation. In a way, it tries to get through the hole and it vibrates till it empties. Exactly how you get spasms in an epileptic attack. There's no difference between an epileptic attack and whatever you call it, the hertz in the matter state as the energy transfer. A lot of you who've been working around this technology, now you have the freedom. And my only wish from you is, before you get involved in making energy and feeding yourself, first of all, use this new knowledge to bring peace to mankind as fast as possible. Then you'll find you have already fed your soul and it finds its level. Use those of you who've been looking for peace, world peace, and talk about the peace. Peace comes when the emotion is in satisfaction, in balance with its physicality. A man who's a king and he orders a murder still is a father and loves his child. So within it, they both exist. If you satisfy and show him, would you like to murder your own child, he'll understand the pain of it. He'll understand in elevating his soul to the level that will not happen. Many times, many times in my talks, I said, look at the picture of the President of the United States, Barack Obama. Watch him for a term of his presidency till the day when he had to sit and order the murder of another man, whatever name they put on the man, a woman, and a child. He took a soul, and his soul was given, and you see the face of the man changes. Age so rapidly, none than before. When you know you cannot take, why do you go to take? Then your physicality pays for your emotion. You got to understand, you have two choices. do what I did, send them back to the level of their own, literally imprison themselves, or elevate them that they cannot stand the elevation and they become part of the soup. And the best thing with the human race is both, but in a sequence of one to another. Don't be so busy with having a free energy, having a free the flight system. Be so busy that if you manage to bring peace, understanding this technology the way it's been taught this morning, you have already flown for millions of years in a span of universe. Now you increase the level of the soul of the planet that it becomes part of in equal strength of the universal community. My purpose is not to take you into universal community as individuals. The job is to take the humanity, the planet as a whole, as one entity. And it means you all have to work to bring everything in balance the way you want it as a piece, that elevation of the soul of the planet achieved. Look at the pictures on One Planet, One Nation. Is the planet which the man carries in his hand in respect to the universal community, and not the man himself. This is what the purpose is. This is what we explain, and a lot of you have missed. If you are busy, they don't give us a power generator, we need a free energy, we need a pen to get the pain. Now you have everything you want. The magic box of the universe is open. And that's it. From now to the point of understanding the creation of other universes and their operation, we have given you enough knowledge. It's you who have to test it, unravel it, walk it, and deliver it. But my advice to all of you, anyone who listens, if you've been claiming we want peace, there is no peace on this planet in every shape or form, build the system, and your first intention not be the free energy and I left, but peace on this planet. You have to elevate the soul of the planet before you all receive what you desire. And this is what is important. And a lot of you, even from the first question, came out, how do we create a lift? There wasn't a question, how do we achieve peace? Man still is too materialistic. And this is your problem. Because you always wanted to have and you're not given. And when you are given, because you fought so long to have it, you forgot the rules of humanity. Now, any questions?
Mr. Kesh, this is Azad. Good morning.
Good morning, Azad. Dr. Azad, let me introduce yourself. Dr. Azad is from United States. She's a dentist, part of the education team of the Kesh Foundation, and a medical corps.
Mr. Kesh, I have two questions. One, you said Moses slaughtered a lot of people, and then you are from the line of Moses. So does it mean you came to correct what he did?
Too late.
So you are from his bloodline. So what does this mean?
I can only elevate his soul that he'll find his own punishment or his own dimension.
Okay, the second question is, if I was born for a purpose, and how the way you were born and you fulfill your purpose and you found it, how can I myself find that, and the reason why am I here? How can I find that?
You don't look at the center point of why I'm here. The question to answer is, how can I serve the others? That's why my purpose. Not why I'm here.
So how can I
do?
How can I find out what is my purpose then?
Your purpose is to serve. Look at the bottom line, the first line of the Kesh Foundation website. We are here to serve and not to be served. Then you understand. We are here to give, to elevate the others on condition of the state of our own, be it in every direction and shape and form. If you understand that, you have matured in the level of humanity.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. People like Dr. Azar understand these as they've gone through troubles and traumas of a revolution in Iran and understand the pain in every essence and means. And pain and suffering brings a lot of wisdom, and the wisdom brings a lot of wealth, of knowledge, of understanding others. Any other question?
Mr. Kesh, I had a message from Clint earlier who sent the spaceship reactor version 4 picture. Is it okay to show that?
I don't know how it looks.
It's the same as earlier, the double core setup and so on. It's just all in one blueprint picture.
Let's have a look.
Okay, let me do a screen share. For those who need to have that picture of a physicality to relate to. We had, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, this is the version, the final version, more or less. You have to realize there are two cores in this structure. These two cores are non-nano-coated cores. As you saw with Arman, you need a point of reference, and the point of reference, the way we use copper here, because the physical body of the man is heavily connected to the copper. So you have a base point, and you have a system which what you call the earth condition. In all your power supplies, if you go into this level, you need to find a minimum level and then a comparison in its potential difference in the plasma and the rest in the higher order than the matter. So the copper, pardon? Pardon? They don't see this. They see a picture only. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I understand what you mean. Okay. So what you see here, these are copper coils, non-nano-coated. You can even in a matter state, you can spray the guns of the amino acid only and nothing else on these copper coils for your space travel. Because then you have a physicality and connection with the amino acids. So when the fields you create for dimensions of your craft has a minimum base, which is the amino acid, it means the life of the man in a space will not be changed. That's the minimum it can go the system to. This is how you guarantee your space craft in the deep space, where the minimum is the existence of the man. And as you see, these are liquid plasmas, which is created to create gravitational and magnetical. And here, this power supply is your plasmatic fields, used like capacitors. In the version now, Arman will show you in the coming days, this does not exist anymore because you will achieve free rotation. In a way, the ball will hang in between the cores. The cores will hold it on. If you put a single non-nano-coated, you will lock it into the matter state where if you understand how to tap into the plasma compared in a way potential difference between the matter state and the Ganser state on the two rings above, and in so many ways the transfer of the fields from the center to any of two that you can compare, you'll find what you call the flow of the current of the plasma. Power units in hundreds of megawatts from a small system like this is very, 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 very easy. Extremely easy. If you want to decontaminate an environment, if you want to feed people like the disaster in China today, in the floods, you don't need to do anything. You position a number of these reactors in the configuration they are, and in the center of these, you create amino acids, the strength with, let's say, calcium, with potassium. There is an outbreak of certain diseases. You make a replication of it into it, you add to it, no diseases. You have viruses, you do the same. You want to feed people with orange juice. You provide the energy of the orange juice in this field, and the man is standing here. If he likes the orange juice and his wish was the orange juice, he locks to the orange juice. Very, very simple. Now, I told you a few weeks ago, field plasma technology is more or less as far as the man can understand. And then in the future, when you understand how to interact these fields together, then you will see the beauty of the Creator. You open dimensions and doors into universal community that you shall all see. But I have a very bad news for you. Extremely bad news for you, but in so many ways, all of you, because of this condition where everything is kept in the plasma dimensions, you can see the history of mankind in past 6,000, 10,000 years. Who did right and who did wrong, and all the falsehood of the history books will come off in no time. Because you can go to the universal archive of the information which has been kept. There is no need to say who did wrong and what was wrong. And one of my prime jobs is and will be in the coming days to bring the presence of the soul of the Christ to finish with one of the biggest murder machines called Vatican into an end, where the peace shall come. When blessed name Christ is present in his soul and you bring it, the servant cannot speak his abuse. Then we start the peace process. If the wish of those of you who are a man of peace wish the presence and the instructions and the truth about blessed name Christ, he shall be present, and then you will tell the truth. Don't forget, the core team of the Keshe Foundation has and have delivered in delivering to elevate the physicality, the soul, physical part of these messengers of God in the past 2 years. They are ready to deliver. Then you understand how stupid all these wars have been, and then you realize how the Christians have been abused and in the background played by the Jews. And then the rest is history. How can a man who served humanity cause so much death by his servants? Let the Christ speak, and we shall see the Vatican cries. And then, as I said before, go back to my teachings, to very first few. I made you one promise. I will return the stones of Vatican back to where they came from, in the center of the Rome. Where did they come from, Giovanni? The stones of Vatican came from? No, the stones of the Vatican came from the physical Colosseum. This is what I promised. You people will go and take every stone of Vatican and you build back the Colosseum, because the loss of physicality is much better than the loss of the soul. The abuse of physical life in Colosseum has different dimension than those who claim to be the protector of the soul, which creates the physicality. So we shall see the end of religions, because now you have access to hear from the creator of the religion, not the servants who abused it. And then my advice to you is one thing. Let the soul of the abusers be fit in what we said before. You understand? In these cores in front of you, if you can create the condition of the gravitational magnetic field of a planet, condition of the gravitational magnetic field of a metal or motion or energy, then you can create the gravitational magnetic field of the soul, which is somewhere just above the gravitational magnetic field of the amino acid of the man, plus zinc. I hope you understand. The mixtures you have to create to be able to reach the levels and above the soul is zinc plus. Let me explain to you, understand very quickly. Can I have the screen back, please? Thank you very much for this. These all go as a blueprint and you can use it. The amino acid plus iron gave you hemoglobin. The amino acid, I call this whatever. We have to do it that you understand it. In conjunction with copper, gave you the physicality. The amino acid with gave you the emotion and the brain. You can see the energy difference between physicality and emotion is very close. Very close. And this is what you never understood. It's puzzled me many times, even with our doctors. Don't forget, in this part, all your amine system, all your structure, even your brain has a common denominator of calcium for its structure. Brain has no bone, but without it, there is no brain cells without the calcium from the skull of the man. The meat, the flesh, has no structure if there is no calcium in it to call it that they can stand it up. The immune system, all the D cells and whatever you call it, don't exist if they don't have a calcium that they can link to it. So you have a backbone on that side. So with the state of the soul, we don't need the calcium. But look, what's the difference? Where do you think the strength of the soul of the man will be? If you manage to create this to change your pain in your body, if you manage to add this to your coils and you've seen the change of the emotion, my dear friends, the soul of the man is not far reached in the state of the elements of the universe. So simple. And now, if you understand this, you can create and call upon the soul of the Christ, and he'll tell you what the Vatican is built on, blood of the man. Let him deliver, not the messengers to color it the way they like. You understand how easy you've gone from physicality into emotion, and now you find the mixture which brings the soul into it and is in the structure of part of the elements which you have already made a GANs of. Don't forget, there is a trick in the game. The muscle tissue has emotion, as does have the brain. Then, if you understand this, not only you see the soul of the Christ, but you'll have him visually with you. Then you will know if it was truly brown eye or a blue eye. Was he blonde or black? So, in the system, free system, in that core in the center, you create the energy of the fields of the soul of the man. And then, if your intention is true, you will understand there shall be no light, but you will see through, and you see the soul. There is only light behind that curtain as long as there is interaction, difference between the high level of the field strength of the sun and the low level fields of the earth in gravitational magnetic. If you create the right field in the right order, and when it's all equal, there is no light. You see a darkness. You see a very transparent, no color darkness, and you see your soul. And then, when the wish is different, the light will take to you, if my wish is peace, and it's in my soul, and it's the condition I want, and you put it in front of a president and say, mine too, yours is so strong and that's so devious that is of a lower strength, it will shine like nothing. And those of you who are pure in heart and the same intention and understanding of the soul as Blessed Muhammad or Christ, we count totally out Moses as has been demoted to the level of a man, shall not be called a prophet. Then you shall see. Then you shall understand why we have come to this point to deliver, because the man has gone too far to stop from this mayhem they have created. Then, if you can create and understand the strength of the level of the element, which gives you the field and strength of the soul of the man at peace, load up your reactors and let them run. Anywhere on this planet, you learn about the vegetables next to each other, how they both grew the same, while the others before used to last 10 days. Once one of the human race reaches the state of the soul of the peace, it will go around the world like a hot fire. Now, those of you who've been crying, I'm peaceful, I want peace, build your system. And those of you who don't do it, is the fear of yourselves, your hands to be open, your true intentions. We do not start a witch hunt, but we start the steps of the truth for mankind. Because it's enough is enough. And as I said, in my time shall not be no murders. I will not kill the souls, but I allow the souls to release their feeble strength into the level to raise the level of the soul of those who have done wrong to. If the world leaders know what we thought today, we will see mass funerals, as I promised on Tuesday. But the world leaders, I have a bad news for you. Physicality doesn't count. We thank no nation and we thank no leaders, as all have done some wrongs to be in the position they are, and those who have done wrong to keep to the material state soon will take the march in confessing to their own things, trying to put it right. We'll see unions to break up, and we see a lot of things opening up that it brings peace to man. I have done my job, and I warned you a few weeks ago. I stopped teaching because I've taught you everything. I guide you to achieve peace. I'll bring you the message in one language. The universal community has an open door for mankind. When the mankind dares to open the door to join in, it's not us which have locked you out, it's you which by what you've done wrong to yourselves have locked yourself in. We knocked on the door of human race many times. And those who opened the door in small gaps took the gift and abused for what was inside. We end up with the Rothschild family that abused the knowledge we gave them for the benefit of more or less torturing the humanity. There shall be no Rothschild as we finished with Judaism too. Build your reactors on the intention of the peace. Start understanding how to create, feel the strength of the soul of the man, and then you will reach the man itself. You elevate the soul of the man, and in elevating it, knowing himself that it doesn't deserve to be elevated for what is done wrong, kings shall fall, world leaders will not be there, and the corridors of finance and power become non-existent. And that was my job. That was why I accepted this mission when I accepted it. And it was so bad that I had to come in person myself to do the job, as the messengers messed it up more and more. So we have two choices as a human race today. Go to the next step to create peace, or go to the next steps and annihilate the totality of the energy, and you have to wait in this village of the earth for another thousands of years, cutting each other's throat, eating each other's flesh, killing each other for a few pennies, which outside, as I said it before, 2 meters above this earth, no money, no gold has any value. Because in the universe, we have no money. We exchange and give from our soul to elevate the others, and we ask for none because we know we can reach for whatever we need. Is the man mature enough to join us, or do we have to bring so much that the man does not understand where it comes from? Those who abused shall talk of their own abuse. Those who served will shine like a star in the human race across the universe. I've done my job. It's for you to find that circle beyond the zinc. And once you understand and find that, then you decide to see the true man, and you all find out your physicality is irrelevant because what you have got, you can create as much as you like. It's you who decides what will be at the end of it, and you have the potential to do so. We still live amongst men like the man, not to stand out, but we see the soul of the man through our own strength. I said, and I repeat, those who have committed murders shall respond. If it needs be, we shall bring their souls. I tell you one thing, which is impossibilities. Accident the day before the revelation, at the same position and address or junction of my house, is impossibility. If it was 1 kilometer up, 2 kilometers down, yes. Look at the accident point, and then you understand the target was to warn. We received the warning, but in a way we never thought the man will be so low. So we responded back. We take your soul. Then you have nobody to live in. There are no coincidences. Go on my talk of last week. I said to you, do not make any assumptions and do not make any theories. And I said to you, this was a pure accident. This was an accident of the greed and blocking the man to elevate. And unfortunately, those who created it, those who created so much mayhem and problem around the foundation, now it serves you your own soul to eat of the flesh of the bodies you have destroyed. That's your problem. I'm not here to take revenge. I'm here to elevate the soul of the man. But those who have tried very hard to obstruct this time the development, you have failed. I'll stay here till the time we deliver the totality and the mankind on the platform of peace to the universal community. Those of you who escape in writing in God knows whatever shape or form, we will knock on your door our way. No problem. We had to find a connection, and we did find a connection. When, as I said, we kicked the dog and the cat meowed. We have found connection between the royal families of Europe in murdering scientists. We have found the money trace in Panama and the other places. We have found the hidden connections of the operation, and in time will be released by those who work for the peace of mankind across the Keshe Foundation organization worldwide. There shall be no king, because these kings have done a lot of wrong. And now it's time for the payback time of their souls and nothing else. Be very, very careful in how you start developing, start understanding the level of the soul and creation of the soul in the free plasma condition, because if you do not do, then you come to see things which you are not prepared for. You only can understand in what you can see and in what is the level of your understanding. Today is the day of revelation, and now we have revealed. It's for you to understand what we are about to do with you and you do to yourself. We are here about to free man from the shackles of his own physicality and the others who wanted to use it and have done so. Thank you very much for today. I leave it with you. We'll come back on the blueprint on Tuesday or whenever the first one of you manages to achieve free rotation, the first one of you manages to create the structure of the soul, and then that's our purpose. We have created all these ganses, we have created the pens to reach the soul, and now this part is yours. When you've done this, please knock on the soul at spaceshipinstitute.org. We'll check, we'll see, and we'll let you share. If you will not manage to achieve it, do not bother sending it, because we know all and we see all. When you achieve it, come and we share it with the rest. Don't forget, soul at spaceshipinstitute.org. We have a good news for you. We ended up with that note. Ghana Conference for Elevating the Soul and the Knowledge of the African Nations is announcing its opening of the door for registration. Rick or Witz, you have the video. Would you like to play?
Yes, Mr. Kesh, I've got that ready to go here. Just a second.
There is one word in this which will be changed. The Africans decided to call themselves a third world in this video. And I said, there is no third world. We are all equal on this planet. Today is the last time you hear a word of third world. In the next presentation, in the load up, will be African nations. Because we've done so much to these people that they have come to accept that they're lower than others, but the souls are all equal. Please play.
Okay, let me just get this set up. I think it'll work now.
Kesh Foundation Ghana, in association with Ghana Atomic Commission and Ghana Spaceship Institute, would like to invite you to attend the New Dawn, Africa's Meteoric Rise and Spaceship Technology Conference, October 17th through 19th, 2016, in Ghana. Kesh Foundation Ghana's mandate is to build awareness and promote research into plasma technology. The Foundation is presently working with governmental institutions and other interest groups in Ghana to fulfill this goal. At the conference, you will be afforded the opportunity to learn about and experience plasma technology firsthand. The cost of admission to the conference includes 3-night stay in one of Ghana's prestigious hotels. Hotel packages include a single, double, or twin room option, and an option for an apartment or suite. Breakfast, tea, and coffee breaks and a buffet lunch on the days of the conference are also included. Kesh Foundation Ghana is focused on utilizing plasma technology in order to solve the numerous problems that third world countries face. Come to the New Dawn, Africa's Meteoric Rise and Spaceship Technology Conference in Ghana. Learn about plasma technology and learn how you can participate in spreading the word about it. Together, we can bring freedom to Africa and humanity, and we hope to see you there.
Thank you very much, and good day to you We'll meet you when you are ready to meet the soul of the Christ and be finished with part of the problem of the mankind. Thank you for today.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kesh. That'll bring an end to the 121st Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the Kesh Foundation Spaceship Institute for Thursday, July 14th, 2016. Okay, I'll end the live stream and we'll end the meeting.